And good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Hey, 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 hey. You are not used to seeing me this early in the morning, but I'm so excited that I'm here. This weekend was an amazing weekend for us, just hanging out with the family. And I had to change my Dexcom, my G7. And so I did yesterday change that, and I thought I'd come on and share that with you. So I did a recording that talked about the changing and some other discussions. So I'm going to go ahead and have us go through that here right now. I hope you have a great day, and I hope this gives you some value. So enjoy it. Here it comes. All right, everybody. So my Dexcom sensor ended earlier today, and I am about to change it. So I thought I'd come on and share that with you. As you know, I actually wear two sensors. I've got a Libre 3 that I wear, and I also have the Dexcom G7 that I wear. And I do that lots of different reasons. One of the reasons is that often people ask me about the differences between the two, how the numbers are. And so I want to be able to show them and also to let people know that there can be differences in them. There can be differences in the numbers. Remember that they can be 20% different from one meter to another, and definitely within sensors or cross sensors, you can have differences as well. But anyway, so I've got a Dexcom G7 that I'm going to change. I have the Dexcom on this arm and the Libre 3 that I wear on this arm. But we're gonna go ahead and change this one off, and it's really a kind of disc that you have that's attached to the back. I think that's probably. Let me see if I can change. Maybe I'll do this one. Let's see. Well, that's probably not a. This is probably a better view, right? But really, right there. And what I'm gonna do is it's kind of like a little band-aid, and you basically I'm going to if I can get a grab of it just like a band-aid and pull that off. Okay, and this is what it looks like. Hopefully you can see that. It's a little disc, and it's surrounded by some tape, and that gets attached to the skin. And then right now I have a new sensor that I'm going to put on. It's a G7. And so let's go ahead and open up the box. There's also a G6 out there that I think they are trying to get rid of because now the G7 is out. They were holding on to the G6 for lots of different reasons, but I think now we're finally probably planning to move on. So this is what it looks like. It is basically kind of a screw, a big screw. You'll screw this apart, and then there is a. Let me hold it a little closer. There is a little button that you would press. I don't know if you can see that clearly, but anyway. And then in the package also comes this is the instructions, information about the sensor, and then let's see if I can open that up. There we go. Uh, okay, so instructions, and then there's a little covering that goes with it, and this you're supposed to, this you're supposed to use to cover it to keep it on. But I usually don't have problems with it staying on, so I don't tend to use that. Um, there are some instructions that come along with it and basically explains the sensor, how to use it, where to put it. And let's see, there we go. Okay. Basically a step-by-step guide on how to put that on. Typically, they say you can put it in the back of the arm, top of the lower back. You can put it there as well. And it just basically kind of walks you through the process of getting it on. and then connecting it to your phone. Um, and then on the back, this is instructions again, but this set is in Spanish. Okay. All right. So let's get that out of the way. And back here. And so basically, what you'll do is, and let me show you my sensor, the app first. Let's go over here. And this is what's going on in the app. It says, go ahead and start a new sensor. You'll see what my blood sugars have been running there today. And that ended probably around, I don't know, 4 or 5 o'clock this afternoon. And so there I am. Going to put that on. Okay. So the way this works, and let's do it this way. All right. So I'm basically going to screw this apart. And like I said, it's a big screw. And so the cap is here. And then within this part is where the sensor is. Let me see if I can bring that up. There we go. Okay. So in there, there's a little sensor or a little cannula that goes under the skin. And then there's this button that we'll press. So let's go ahead and do this. And what I usually tell people is when you're putting it on, and I'm going to put it in the back of my arm, and I tend to wear mine a little lower, closer down towards the elbow, right about here. And on mine, you'll see that's where the old tape was. And you can go ahead and get some alcohol and clean that off. I'm not going to put it in the same spot. So when I take my shower, that'll come off. But I tell people to make a 90-degree angle. And we'll put this on right about there. A lot of people put it further up back, which is what the diagrams show. I tend not to do that because when it's up higher, I tend to hit my arms when I'm going through the door, or if I'm taking a shower and toweling off, I'll hit it. So I tend to put mine lower, and you'll see, let me turn to this view, and you can see a little bit where this one is. So to see how much closer to my elbow is, this is my elbow, and then it's right there. Often people will put it way up here, which is what everybody says. But like I said, for me, it doesn't quite work because I tend to hit it more if I'm here. But if I'm way down here by my elbow, I tend to protect my elbows more. Okay. All right. So so putting this one on, make a 90-degree angle. Right, and I'll put it right there, and then I'm gonna be quiet so I can hit the button, and hopefully you hear the spring, and hopefully you heard that. And then I'll take my finger and rub it around the tape to make sure that that tape is secure. And then we go to the app, and in the app it'll say start new sensor. Right, and you can use your camera to scan the QR code, because there's a QR code on this. Let's go ahead and do that. Now you see that's where it is, and it identifies it. And new sensor inserted. I've already put it in. If you wanted, you can actually go through the step-by-step guide. You say how to insert a sensor, and it'll walk you through that. For me, I don't need to do that because I've done that before. And so now it's searching for the sensor, and that is the sensor number that is going to pair with. And it says it's paired it. And it says warm-up time. So in 26 minutes, I'll be able to get my first reading from the sensor. Okay. And that's really it. That's how that's set up. That's how that works. Right now, I do have my report up on my screen. So I'm going to hop over there for a quick minute. And you'll see there what my average blood sugar has been for the last 14 days. If I go ahead and hit that to 90 days, you'll see that's probably about 110 to 115 or something like that. Okay, yeah, 108. My glucose management indicator, which is a surrogate for the A1C. So what my A1C would be if I were to get an A1C based on these blood sugars, and you'll see right there it says that it's 5.9. I'm in target 88% of the time, and the target is anywhere from 70 to 180. Although I usually tell my patients I want their blood sugars to be a lot tighter than that. I want them to be between 100 and 120. Um, and then if I look at my daily graphs, we'll have that pull up in just a minute, and we'll see we'll kind of look over the last so maybe 3 or 4 days and see what those numbers have been. And so yeah, so let's do this. So on Friday we were in the 60s and 70s, and you recall actually on Friday we did a 83, 84 hour fast. And so at the end of that fast, we started eating, and you'll see how those blood sugars climb. And I broke the fast by eating grilled chicken from Chick-fil-A, and then I had cheese, smoked Gouda, Parmesan, and extra sharp. You'll see, and then I think later on I had some nuts, cashews. It was kind of mixed nuts from Sam's. And then this was Saturday afternoon, right around here. I think that was the cherry vanilla ice cream that you see right here. Okay, and we got up as high as 219, and then started coming back down, and then over the course of today, into Sunday morning, and so this right here is really residual from all this right here, right? So all of the ice cream that I had, see how that kind of lingers right in there, and then started coming back down, and then right around noon, right, spiked up again. And at that point, I still hadn't eaten. So this is still all as a result of the stuff I ate before. And then we started coming back down, coming back down, coming back down, coming back down, right now into the 120s. And so I had lunch. Let's see, what time did I have lunch? Yeah, actually, I don't think I had lunch until after lunch, right? So these numbers that you're seeing here, right, are all still kind of residual from um, from food and from the ice cream that I had. This was quite 12. Let's see. So that was 6 in the evening to 6 in the morning. So 12, and then 6 to 12. So that's 18 hours, right? So 18 hours later. And you recall that I said, we've talked about here on the show, that the carbohydrates, the glycogen that's in your body, it doesn't go away. It's not depleted until you get to about 24 hours. So here, even at 18 hours after eating, right? Because I didn't eat again until, let's see, my son and I went out, and so we didn't get home until about 2, 3. Actually, we left the house at 2, 3 o'clock. So we didn't get home until about 4 o'clock. So it wasn't until then that that my body was finally getting rid of the glycogen that was from the food before. And you see, this is a perfect example of that fact. And just as I was getting ready to get into that 24-hour, right, because 6 o'clock would have been 24-hour, I started eating, which is what happens most of the time. Just when our body's getting into the point where it's about to use up all the glycogen, then we eat and we replenish it. And there's nothing wrong with that, but that's really just kind of explains why sometimes blood sugars kind of stay higher, and people sometimes will get a little confused that, hey, wait a minute, I haven't eaten anything, but yet my blood sugars are not going down, because it takes about 18 to 24 hours for the glycogen to really start to get to the point where it's becoming depleted, and just at the point where glycogen is getting ready to go away, then we start eating again, and so we replenish. Okay, all right. So that's a great example of that. And so this was just me wanting to come on and share with you, changing my sensor, changing my Dexcom G7, and you'll see there it says in about 20 minutes I'll get my first reading, and it'll be interesting to see what that reading is after all that I just described. Okay, all right. I do have the other sensor on, but I'm not going to bring that up because this is not a show on using the other sensor. And we'll kind of see what that is. Well, maybe. Well, it's offline right now. I think I killed the app for. So anyway, so I don't have a number. But if I have one that comes up here in just a second, I think I will go ahead and show it so that you guys can see where I am now. And based on, at least based on the graph that I'm seeing, it's looking like a little above maybe 120-ish. And I think that makes sense. Come on now. Let's see if I can get that. Yeah, what it's saying is the signal is lost. Signal is lost. So I'm kind of waiting for that to pop back up. Okay. But anyway, so like I said, and this is the Libre 3. Okay. We're not doing a show on Libre 3, but I just wanted to see if I had a number that I could show you. There you go. Okay, so 115 is what my blood sugar is. And you'll see down at the bottom in the graph, you'll see that maybe right around noon, just like this other graph was showing, right around noon was when the blood sugar started dropping. Okay. And right around then was when I actually, not noon, but right around 4 or 5 o'clock is when I ate again. And then you'll see that the blood sugars rose up maybe halfway, not even halfway, between 100 and 120, 150. So maybe 120-ish is probably what it went, 130 went up to, and then now back down to 115. Okay, so it'll be interesting to see. And I think, let's see, did I make a? I did do that because I wanted to be sure about the time when I stopped eating. So hold on a second. Let me see if I could find that. So I took a screenshot. See, look at that. I took a screenshot. Yeah, there we go. Of the time, and so it was 6:59. Right. So that's my that's my family right there, by the way. So it was 6:59 when right at 7 o'clock when I ended my eating, and so 7 in the morning will be 12 hours, and then 7 tomorrow night will be 24 hours, and so on. So just about 24 hours is when glycogen should go away, and so I'll begin now tracking to see, okay, what happens, what does my blood sugar do over the course of the next 24 hours. Okay, awesome. Well, thank you for hanging out with me. Always happy when I can come on and share with you and just spend a few moments. If you have a Dexcom, if you have a Libre, if you have any of the other meters that are out there, it's a great idea to be tracking your blood sugars to see what they are, to keep track of them. I also do Keto Mojo, and I do a contour. And because we're not talking about that right now, you know what? I wasn't planning to do it, but why don't we do that? Why don't we do that? Yeah, here we go. Let me pull those out. There we are. So here is my contour, and I'm going to come back over here. And let's see. You might as well, right? Yeah, we'll see what it is. And so this guy says it's going to be warming up in 16 minutes. So I've got a Keto Mojo, I got a contour, And here is a contour test strip. Sorry, not contour, Keto Mojo. Keto Mojo. This is a ketone strip. Let's go ahead and grab a lancet. And then, let's see, what else do we need? I need test strips for the contour. Get this out of the way. And here's my trusty dandy little container with all my lancing devices and so forth. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's see what we have. All right, since we're doing this, and let's get a test strip in the contour. Let's get the Keto Mojo test strip opened up. Get that in there. All right, and this is a lancet, and it's spring-loaded so that basically you break off this top part. And so when I hit the little lever, then the spring activates, and out of the side or the top comes the lancet. So I'm going to hold this up and try to see if I can get a good. Hopefully you heard that. And then let's see. Yep, we got a good drop of blood. Boom, boom, boom. Get one for the contour. And so 138 is what the Keto Mojo says. And then 129 is what this guy says. This is the contour. And you recall that the Libre said 115. Okay, Libre said 115. Now the other thing that I want to do is go ahead and let's get that strip out of there, and let's go ahead and see what my ketones are. So I'm expecting my ketones to be pretty low. Let's get a drop of blood. Gotta massage that a little bit. All right, so what do you think it's gonna be? I don't know. I'm gonna say 2 or less, 0.2 or less, 0.2 or less. Yeah, so less. So it actually says low. Okay, and so when we talk about ketones, remember ketones that are less than 0.5 are considered normal. 0.5 to 1.5 is considered nutritional ketosis, and above 1.5 is considered therapeutic ketosis. So I broke my fast on Friday after about 84 hours, and over the course of the weekend, I've been eating, and then you saw some of the things, or you heard some of the things that I did eat, like I had some ice cream, almonds, and cashews, and so forth, and so my blood sugar actually went up. And remember, whenever blood sugars spike, what has to come out? Insulin has to come out to bring it back down. And once insulin is elevated, or once insulin is there, insulin and ketones can't live together. So if insulin is there, then the ketones will drop. So let me go ahead and I'm going to pull over my Keto Mojo meter, or meter app, my Keto Mojo meter app. Say that fast 2 times. And go ahead and get this one out. Keep this one here. And we should see that sync there in just a minute. Let's see. There we are. So we got that syncing. And it should pull that information over. And then we can take a look at the graph. So a couple of numbers, right? So blood sugar of 138, ketones are low, and you'll see that the GKI, which is the middle, says infinity. So it is high, basically, is what that means. And so if I take a look at the actual graphs, so the turquoise line, those are ketones, and then the tan line, that's blood sugar. So when I was fasting right before I broke the fast, my ketones were 2.9 and glucose of 61. So glucose is low, ketones are high. And then as I ate, the glucose went up. All right, that's the tan line. And as the tan line went up, then the turquoise line went down. Because remember, high blood sugars, or I shouldn't say high blood sugars, but if we have blood sugars that are not low, then insulin has to be there to kind of keep those blood sugars in check. Once insulin shows up, then ketones can't survive. And so the ketones go down. And that's what you're seeing there, elevated blood sugar with low ketones. Okay, awesome. All right, and I think my Dexcom, it says in 10 minutes, then I will get a number. So I think maybe why don't we just hang out for a little bit together, and then we'll see what that is here in just a minute. One of the things that is happening with me is that I am, as we do the New Year, New You process, I'm having more and more people ask me about the process. So if you have not shared yet, if you've not let people know what you're doing to get those benefits, the success that you're seeing, go ahead and let them know. I mean, remember, we have over 1 billion people on the planet who are diabetic or pre-diabetic. And you can be the voice of change to help them move in the direction of becoming healthier. Remember what the premise of a New Year, New You is. The premise is that we are talking to adults with type 2 diabetes who want to reverse their diabetes, but also that it's not just people who have diabetes that benefit from New Year, New You. And that's one of the points I was making to someone earlier today, that the things that we talk about, the things that we do, the very same things that we do for people who are diabetic in terms of reversing diabetes are the things that we do for people who are pre-diabetes. Right? So whether you have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, polycystic ovarian syndrome, whether you have risk of coronary artery disease or risk of stroke, all of those things will also improve as we talk about New Year, New You. Because New Year, New You, really the premise is a metabolic disease. And diabetes happens to be the ultimate metabolic disease, but New Year, New You works for everything else. And remember the premise, or not the premise, but the pillars. The pillars are to decrease insulin, suppress the appetite, and reduce sugar. Decrease insulin, suppress the appetite, and reduce sugar. And there's a graphic that I've been working on, because I have a graphic for all the other things, but there's a graphic I've been working on for the pillars. And tell me what you think of the graphic. It's still a work in progress, but you get, because you're here in the community, you get to see some of it. Let's see, where is it? And basically those are the three pillars, right? So decrease insulin, suppress appetite, and reduce sugar. And we're always talking about threes, right? Because we got the triple formula for success. Let's see where it is. Here it is. Okay. And we're talking about pillars. So let's see if I can get. Come on. All right, let's go ahead and pop that up. And then we'll go ahead and let you take a look. Here we go. Let me know what you think. Okay, so those are the pillars. Decrease insulin, suppress appetite, and reduce sugar. Decrease insulin, suppress appetite, and reduce sugar. And the decreasing of the insulin is, and actually all of the pillars, and actually I'm going to put myself on the screen. Can I do that? Let's do this one. There we go. Okay, so so fasting, which is what we've been using as one of our big tools, fasting will supply, or fasting will allow you to get all of these um, accomplished, right? So fasting. If I'm fasting, I'm reducing my sugar because I'm not putting carbs in. When I reduce my sugar, I decrease the spike in insulin. When I decrease, which is number two, when I decrease the spike in insulin, that suppresses my appetite. And during the course of fasting, remember, fasting regulates our leptin and ghrelin. Right? So notice that fasting accomplishes all three of the pillars. And it's free. It's not anything that you've got to go buy. It's not a special food. It's not a special supplement. It is simply the decision, the personal decision to abstain voluntarily from calories and carb containing foods. I shouldn't say but from calories, because once you're abstaining from calories, then there can't be any carbs. And so our challenge to everyone has been to begin working your way up to be able to fast for a 24-hour period once a week. All right, that's been our challenge, and that was our challenge from the month of February. And if you remember New Year, New You, which on our YouTube channel, we have the list of all the shows that we've done within the New Year, New You process, right? We also have one that has all of the fasting, right? But the New Year, New You is actually called How to Reverse Your Diabetes. How to reverse your diabetes. I'm going to go ahead and pop that up on the screen as we're waiting for the Dexcom to come up. So how to reverse your diabetes, and one of the very first things that we taught, as a matter of fact, the second show within the series was, can fasting rapidly lower your blood sugar? Right. So we talked about the why. We talked about other things, but number two, and the reason that we introduced fasting in the second show was because of the power of fasting. And we wanted people to begin incorporating fasting into their regimen. And so if you're out there and you are still working along with the New Year, New You process, you may have been fasting now for 24 hours once a week, or 36 hours, 48 hours, or some other. We have people who are doing 72 hours. But you may also be someone that has not quite made it to 24 hours. That doesn't mean that you're failed. Remember, it is a work in progress. So wherever you are, you want to start. If you currently fast for 8 hours because that's when you're sleeping, when you wake up, instead of just going to eat breakfast, maybe wait an hour, wait 2 hours. So now you're up to 10 hours. And then once you're able to do 10, then you go to 12. When you're able to do 12, you go to 14. When you're able to do 14, you go to 16, and then 18, and 20, and 22, and 24. And then all of a sudden you're there. Right? Why 24? Because it is at 24 hours when the body is now finally getting ready to switch over, and you are depleting or have depleted your glycogen. The sugar stores are gone at that point. Okay, mostly. Now there's some caveats there, but 24 hours. And so at 24 hours where we begin to see a lot of the benefits that we see with extended fasting. As a matter of fact, an extended fast, when you hear me say extended fast, I'm talking at least 24 hours. And so in that process, the fasting process, the fasting tool, right? And it is a tool. The fasting tool is accomplishing all the things that we say that we want that come from the pillars, right? Decrease insulin, suppress appetite, and reduce sugar. All of that's accomplished with fasting. All right, so let's see. We should be getting some blood sugars here, and it still says 5 minutes, but I think we've gone past 5 minutes. So let's see what's going on. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna restart the app. Here we go. And yeah, still says 5 minutes. So we're there. All right. So anyway, so you saw what the Keto Mojo and the Contour said. You've seen what the Libra has said, and we're just now waiting for the Dexcom to come up with its number. And so we've gone anywhere from 105 to there it is. It just popped up. Okay, and right now it's saying my blood sugar is 91 and it's steady. See the line, the arrow that points straight across. If it were going up, then the arrow would point up. If it were going down, the arrow would point down. And right now it's going straight across, so that means the blood sugar is stable. And then let's see what this guy is saying now. So this is still saying 115. And so the Dexcom really has been the lowest right now, right? So it's saying 91, and then the next lowest is the Libre, which is 115, and then if you recall, the Contour was it 129? Let's see if I can pull. I actually have a Contour app. Let's see if I can pull that up. That way I don't have to go into the Contour and try to remember what it was. All right, so here's the Contour app. And let's see if we can get it to sync. I'm gonna turn the meter on. Okay, come on. There we go. So turn the meter on, and then I see if I can get the app to sync with it, and then we can see what the number is. But the other thing that I could do is I can actually go in there and I could press the buttons. All right, yeah, so the Contour was 129. So 91, 115, 129 from the Contour. And then if I go back to my Keto Mojo, the Keto Mojo was 138. Okay, so Keto Mojo is the highest, then Contour, then the Libre 3, then the Dexcom, which was 91. Okay, all right. Well, hey, y'all. Like I said, I just wanted to come on and share with you as I changed my sensor. I went out this afternoon, probably around, I don't know, 4 o'clock. And so now just getting ready or getting to change it. Make sure that you join us on our show, which is coming up here in a little less than 24 hours, actually. Monday at 7 p.m. Central. As I always say, this is Dr. Dwain Woode. That's Wood with an E. The E stands for endocrinology. Here on the channel, I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your health and your life, avoid complications, and go to the next level. And in this year, new year, new you. Good night, everyone. Take care.